Hey, my village, it's your Coach Mo. I'm back. Let me just share this to my group. Hey, how y'all doing? Once you jump in, just go ahead and say hi. Let me know you're here. Hello, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. I'm just inviting a few people. Y'all can drop an emoji, say hi, let me know you're here. Hey, Lana. I liked your card yesterday, the one that I picked. I loved it. It was fitting. I picked the middle one. I'm just sharing this with my business page really quick. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys' day is going good. My day has been amazing, very productive, which is awesome. Hold up. How are you guys doing today? Sorry, I'm trying to mute the video. Perfect, I'm glad it helped. Yeah, it really did. Like I was like shocked that it was really on point. Well, you're always on point with your cards. You just finished a class. What kind of class did you have? Sorry, y'all. I'm just sharing it to my other page and it's taking longer than normal. Alright, so I'm done sharing it. So today's topic is 20 mistakes that parents make, because we all make mistakes, nobody's perfect. A hoodoo class. You was a student. Oh, it's always good to be a student sometime and learn instead of being a teacher. But I never heard of that before. But I'm going to get to the topic since it's 20 of them. So the first mistake that parents normally make is giving their kids too many choices. If you give them way too many choices, they will definitely be confused as to what choice would be the right choice. So to not confuse your kid, don't give them a ton of choices. Give them like 2 options and that's it. I always tell people 2 options minimum, and keep it simple. The second mistake that we make as parents is praising them for everything they do. You don't got to celebrate everything. The one time I know you celebrate is like when you're going through potty training. It's good to celebrate a lot. But after that, you don't have to celebrate everything and praise everything and put them on a pedestal about everything. People give their kids too many activities too. That's one of them. We're getting on that one. The third mistake is trying to make your kids happy. You don't have to go above and beyond to make your child happy. That should be something that naturally comes, which is so funny, because a lot of people do that. Another one is overindulging them. Don't overwhelm your kids. You put too much pressure on them, and don't do that, because sometimes you're setting them up for failure. The fifth one is keeping them too busy. A lot of that kind of go with what you said. Some people keep their kids busy constantly all year round, hopping from one activity to another, this club, that club, this sport, this program. Give them time to be a kid. Like at some point you gotta let them just be a kid, get friends, stuff like that. Like they would never have a break if you keep their childhood's gonna pass them up so fast if they never get to actually enjoy it, because they're always doing something. They end up stressed out. Yes, they do. Kids get overwhelmed too and stressed out, especially when it's like a lot of sports, because it's competitive, and if they're not great in every sport, it will be challenging. It can affect their confidence, their self-esteem, all that. The sixth one is thinking smart will save them. You do not have to overwhelm your kids with education, thinking that because they're educated and they know everything and they're a child genius that they will survive in this world. It don't work that way. They have to have book smart and street smart. It's good to teach them both. Most of us didn't grow up with a silver spoon. I don't know why parents try to save their kids from that experience. But us growing up in like certain environments and experiencing certain things is what made us strong and gave us character. So stop trying to avoid your kids from going through that. Let me see. Thinking a strict religion will give them perfect values and save them. You do not have to drown your kids with Bible verses, going to Bible study, choir rehearsal, church on Sunday, this day. That is not the way to do it. You will really, like how Steve Harvey always say, he was on church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now as an adult he don't even want to go to church no more. You can do that to your kids. You make them say, I don't even want to be religious because you got drowned in church as a kid. Let it be a choice. At the age of 10, my mom let me and my sister pick our religion. We were baptized Catholic, but at the age of 10, we started going to church with our friends to see what a Christian church is like, and we actually liked it better. But at the age of 10 is usually the age that a kid can make that decision as far as which religion they want to be, and let them go out and venture. You didn't miss nothing. You didn't miss that much, Tish. I just seen your comment. And thank you guys for joining. You can leave an emoji, say hi, let me know you're here. Number 8 is withholding common information about important topics, like, for example, sex. People try to hold out talking to their kids about sex. Believe it or not, they probably learned it from school before they learned it from you. I know I did in middle school. I was like 10, 11 when I started learning about it from friends. So beat the friends to it. Don't be scared to talk to your kids about sex. I talked to my son about it at 8. At 9, I'll talk to him again about it at 10. I want to see how he feel about it. I'm not going to withhold information or just try to scare him away from not doing it. That's not the way to go, because they're going to do it anyway. But you rather them learn it from you versus learning it from somebody else. They actually start learning about sex earlier than that when they learn gender differences. So you can start the process like 3, 4. They wonder, why do the girls have this body part and I have a penis and stuff. You start at those ages where they start to identify the difference between boy and girl. But you just slightly add on a little more every year when they get a little more mature and don't think girls have cooties. But don't withhold information like that. Because it's important for them to know, and I'd rather them learn it from their parents than a stranger. And they probably can teach you something, because new stuff come out all the time. Don't be uncomfortable to have that conversation with your kids. Being hypocritical of children's mistakes. If you know you made those same mistakes that these kids make, like these kids try to trick us and manipulate us and do the same thing we tried to do when they were younger. Like, don't hide that you didn't do the same thing or make the same mistakes. I admit to my son, like, oh, I did that too. I used to try to do that at school. I used to talk in class. Like, I don't hide and make it seem like I'm the perfect parent. He needs to know who I am before I was a mom. So I let him in on that information. And don't use shame and like threats towards your kids. Like, if you do this, I'm gonna do this to you. Like, that is not a proper way of like disciplining them by threatening them. That is common in African American families. I know a lot of parents that threaten their kids, be like, hey, if you do this, I'm gonna whoop your butt. Hey, I'm alive, okay? Sorry, my son just walked in the house. Making kids do things inappropriate for their age. Some things are age appropriate and some things are not. Like teaching a little 3-4-year-old how to twerk, that is so inappropriate, and I hate when people do that. They think it's cute. and be on social media recording their kid like it's just a thing to do, that is so like irritating to me. I definitely hate that, and I don't support people like exposing their little girls, putting them in bikinis, stuff like that. Like, I am not in agreement with it because it's not age appropriate, especially with all these perverts and stuff out here and these pedophiles. I don't trust it at all. Let me see, that was number 11. Number 12 is not limiting screen time. I'm going to have another live, I think in next month, it comes up about screen time and the benefits and the disadvantages of it. But don't let your kid be on playing video games all day, on their iPad and stuff all day. Me, I limit my son to maybe 2, stretching it, maybe 3 hours a day to watch TV or play his iPad and stuff. I make him do the traditional stuff. Like right now, he just came in the house to get his bike. Go bike riding, do stuff like a normal kid. Go play soccer, kickball or something. Go to the playground. So he know he got to do more outdoor activities than indoor. And I don't play with the whole being lazy, sitting in the house all under me all day. No. As a kid, we were locked outside. You can come in the house to use the bathroom, and you drink water from the water hose if you're thirsty. It was no excuse to come in the house and be sitting around adults talking and having conversation. No. So I'm pretty old-fashioned when it comes to that. We didn't sit in the house on video games all day and stuff and talking on cell phones and texting and stuff. We didn't have that option. It was either go outside, stay in the house. If you're in the house, you're going to take a nap. You're going to be working, cleaning, doing something. So, I'm pretty traditional with that sense. Number 13 is not letting kids get bored. You have to allow them to get bored. When they're bored, they're going to start, their creative juices are going to start flowing, and they're going to figure out something to do. Let them do that, because there's no way that they can use that creative side if you never let them get to that point where you're trying to entertain them and stuff. No, you don't have to do that. Let them get bored. If they're bored, they'll figure out something to do. My son, he'd be like, oh, I'm bored. Okay, so what are you going to do? And I help him figure out what he can do. Go draw, go do some art. You can start a hobby, stuff like that. So let them get bored. It's good for them. Number 14 is protecting kids from their own consequences and loss. Do not try to save your kids from like consequences, hurt. Get them out of whatever troubled situation they're in. Let them figure it out. They can never learn how to problem solve if you don't teach them. And that's what I call a helicopter parent. I have another live that I'm doing, I think it might be this month. It's this month or next month, where it's a helicopter parent, where they try to save their kid from everything. They do everything for their kid. Don't let them get in trouble. Don't let them learn the hard way. They try to save them from those consequences. But don't do that, because you never teach them how to problem solve. You never teach them how to learn their lesson. So number 15 is not letting kid play dangerously. I used to be this mom. My kid is a daredevil and would jump off anything, especially when he was younger. He had a concussion before the age of 1, jumping, diving off the bed and hit the closet. Sometimes you gotta let them play rough and get dirty and stuff. Like, a lot of parents, I know moms especially, like, no, don't do that. Like me, I used to have like really bad anxiety when kids are standing up on furniture and stuff like that, getting ready to jump off. Like, my heart sink into my stomach. But sometimes you gotta let them do that. You gotta let them rough play. You gotta let them do the tomboy stuff, especially if it's a little girl. She want to be rough. She want to wrestle, play with the boys. Let them do that. I had a tomboy stage as a kid. I used to play tackle football with the boys. I was the fastest girl racing. So I used to race all the boys in the neighborhood, be fighting the boys and stuff like that. You have to let them play dangerously to build that, it builds their confidence, strength. Then they won't be these weak crybaby kids if you keep babying them and keeping them from playing dangerously. Number 16 is not debriefing kids at bedtime. So, like, unwind, talk to them about how their day went, what they like about the day. Just have a conversation with the kids. So, when I debrief my son, be like, I already asked him when he get home, like, how was your day at school and stuff like that. But then he do so much more after coming home. So you can say, like, who was you playing with outside? Did you guys have fun? Stuff like that. What do you think you're going to do tomorrow? Just go ahead and let them unwind and debrief them and have a just quick conversation with them before they go to bed. Number 17 is not reading to young kids. When kids are like babies, it's good to read to them. It helps them build their vocabulary, all that. It's never too young. Like, I started the Your Baby Can Read when my son was like 5 months. We started doing flashcards, and then that made him, he didn't ever do the pacifier thing and all that stuff. It made him want to talk. He knew his ABCs, his number, my phone number, everybody first, last name, how to spell his name, all that stuff before, like, it was like a year and a half. All his colors, shapes. Start early as possible, because a kid brain develops up until the age of 3. Once they're turned 3, their brain is fully developed. So it's easier to teach them foreign languages. It's easier to teach them how to speak, all that by the age of 3. So the earlier, the better. After the age of 3, their brain is fully developed, and it's a little harder to teach them certain things. That's why you shouldn't wait till 3 years old to try to potty train. You got to train their mind early. As soon as they start walking, start that training, because they suck in and absorb the most during that infancy stage, which is newborn to age 3. Trust me, I know. I'm a psychology major. This is what I studied. Child development. It's important to start very early. Number 18 is pulling the pacifier too soon. I know it's a controversial thing when people talk about, oh, give a kid a pacifier, don't give a kid a pacifier. It's based on the kid. If you start them off with one, of course it's going to be harder to wean them off, but you can't just take it away and be like, no, you can't have it, because it's a oral sensation that they need. Usually it's an oral fixation that is needed, so they're not getting something to be able to release that sensation with the pacifier. So just like kids are glued to a teddy bear or a blanket, it's a need, that something that they need to be able to release that, because that causes them anxiety when they don't have it. Releasing it and taking it away too early can mess up their developmental process. So it's always important to wait until they're ready and wean them off of it, versus just taking it away and saying, whatever, I'm going to take it away. And then it's not going to get it. They're going to have to get over it. You can't do that. So number 19 is regulating food. Some people let their kids just eat, and I'm so tired of seeing these obese kids. There's no excuse. You as a parent are in control of how your kid eat, what they eat. That should be something that you monitor. And if a child is obese at a very young age, I always blame the parents, because you feed them, you give them that food. You're contributing to it, and you're not giving them the proper exercise they need to stay healthy. We want to raise mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy children. That's really important. They need to outlive us. Now we outlive our kids. So it's very important to regulate food. Give them vegetables early. My son eats everything. He eats stuff I don't even eat, like garlic mussels and all that stuff. He don't know what I don't like, because I don't tell him. So I don't say, oh, I don't like this, because then kids see you and your food habits and be like, well, I don't like that either, because mommy or daddy don't eat it, so I don't eat it either. Like, you have to introduce them to everything. Usually you start introducing them to little stuff at like 5 months, soft foods, but you introduce vegetables, stuff like that. Because I get people that tell me like, oh, my kid don't eat this. You're like, what? Why not? And it's because you don't give it to them. They don't know what they don't like. And in my house, when I grew up, is you eat, or you eat what they give you, or you don't eat at all. Simple as that. So you don't get a choice. You're going to learn to love it. Like, I didn't think I would like okra, Brussels sprouts, stuff like that. But I eat Brussels sprouts like a few times a week, asparagus, kale. I feed that to my son. He love it. He loved like my son is bougie. He loves cuisine and lobster, salmon, stuff like that. Like, that's not inexpensive. But the last one is spanking kids older than the age of 5. At some point, whoopings don't work anymore. So you have to find another way to discipline your kids. So when a kid turns a certain age, they should know right from wrong. So you start setting other consequences and punishment for them so that they can understand, if you do this, they already know what the consequence is going to be. You don't have to physically hit your child to get your point across. So at some point, you have to learn how to communicate with your kid so they can understand, I'm in trouble if I do this, and they know not to do it, because they are old enough to know right from wrong by the age of 5. So you don't have to physically hit them. You don't have to yell at them, stuff like that. Just start taking stuff away. I had that in my book, 5 Easy Ways to Change Your Child Behavior, my ebook. That's available still on my website. But it talks about consequences. So if you are interested in learning more about discipline and consequences based on the age, just go ahead and get the ebook, 5 Easy Steps to Change Your Child Behavior. Definitely, I have an announcement because I gave my private group the opportunity to sign up for my mommy night out. For all of my California, the SoCal followers, we're doing a mommy's night out on October 14th. It's going to be in Paramount at my friend nail shop called Lee Nail Designs. And we're going to have basically mani and pedis, food, conversation, and we're going to have a runway lesson from my friend that's a runway coach. It's only 8 more spots left. I was only allowing 10 people. Your spot is not secured until you pay the $60 for that night. So when I send you an invoice, it have to be paid by the 10th in order to secure your spot. If you still have an invoice out and I have the 10 people, I'm going to cancel the invoice. So just to let you guys know, that's a heads up. But I am opening it up for my other audience now that a few people have joined in the private group. So I hope to see you guys on October 14th. It's going to be like 5 p.m. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have that mommy chat, talk about different stuff, bring your sexy back. I want you guys to bring a pair of high heels so you can walk the runway, show off your new pedicure. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you guys there. And I have some other opportunities coming up. I'm going to try to do like a different event in a different city or state each month for the rest of the year, just so that we can have fun before the holidays, before we start getting stressed out, getting overwhelmed with these retail holidays. I have another live about that too, because I posted a question yesterday saying, like, are you lying to your kids are you telling your kids the truth about the holidays? And I did get some inboxes about it because some people felt some kind of way about it, but we'll have a discussion about that. I'll probably go live about that tomorrow. But I would like to thank you guys for tuning in. If you catch the replay, just do #replay. Again, this is your coach Monique. I'm your family and parenting life coach. I help parents co-parent with success to be able to coexist in their child's life. You can definitely book your breakthrough call by messaging me in my inbox, and we'll be able to see how I can help you in regards to parenting. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.